Hey everybody, Derek here to bring you another video for The Walking Dead. And today I wanted to talk about the announcement that was made today from Telltale Games, the creator of the Walking Dead video game series, the one that deals with the characters of Lee and Clementine. And they've announced today that there is going to be a 3-episode, if I remember clearly, mini-series video game that is going to be based on a character from The Walking Dead itself. That character, of course, is Michonne. They've confirmed that is going to be the next game that they are going to release. If you played the video games, I haven't yet. I don't own an Xbox. I don't have a lot of time for that with school. But if you do play them, I've seen YouTube videos, and I think that they are very amazing. The choices that you have to make and the circumstances about what you have to do is very, very interesting. Definitely puts a lot of pressure, and it makes you, feel kind of like how you watch characters in the show having to make split-second decisions that could save a life, end a life, or make somebody happy or make somebody upset. And, I think that it's absolutely brilliant that they are going to be releasing a game about Michonne. And I want to read to you what was said about it so far. So, they state that they are going to be releasing the video game, and apparently it's coming out sometime this fall, so it's not going to be an extremely long wait like Season 3 is for the video game, The Walking Dead. It's going to be coming out in the fall. They haven't really announced a date yet. They do say that you have to own at least the first episode of Walking Dead Season 2 on the video game from Telltale. So you have to at least own that one episode. Now, here's what it says. So many of you may be wondering, is it taking place in the comics or is it taking place in the TV show? Well, according to the article that I read, it's taking place from the comics. So it'll be following what is going on with the comics. And it says it's taking place between issues 126 and 139. So if you're not familiar with the comics, that is the time period right after the Saviors and Rick's, group had their all-out war, that all-out war saga that Robert Kirkman wrote in those two volumes. That is in between from issues 126 to 139. We didn't see anything of Michonne, and we're trying to figure out, what's going on. Where is she? And finally, she does pop up. Apparently, it's going to take place in between those volumes. And another thing that's interesting to note is that one of the things that the game is going to do is explain why Michonne left her group in the first place, why she left Rick, Ezekiel, and the others and went off to do what she did, and what ends up bringing her back. So I think that that's going to be very interesting to explore that with Michonne, to really understand why did she leave in the first place. I think it's a question on everybody's minds. Why would you leave your group that you've, grown to love and trust throughout this whole entire apocalypse and just go off on a sailing adventure? And what will bring her back? And again, I think that will, be involved with the adventure that she goes on. Does she go back to Georgia? Does she end up finding out about her daughters? Does she end up, accepting what is, what happened, and that's that? I really don't know. And I think it's going to be very interesting to explore that in this video game. I'm very, very excited to see what it has to offer. And here's what they've said. It said that the game is described that it'll be about Michonne, who is haunted by her past and coping with unimaginable loss and regret. So a lot of what we've understood about Michonne is that, in the comics, she lost daughters instead of a son, if I remember clearly, from what I've read. Michonne had, I think, 2 daughters that she lost as a result of the zombie apocalypse. And, she's definitely been hurt by that. And one of the things that you notice about Michonne in the comics versus Michonne in the TV show is that Michonne in the TV show has made so much more progress with herself. I mean, she's opened up more as a character. We do get to see a little bit more of a three-dimensional character who's, feels happy, feels sad, feels angry, feels motivated. Different emotions that actually come together and make Michonne the character that she is in the TV show. Someone who's more well-rounded. Whereas in the comics, ever since she's been introduced, there really hasn't been much of Michonne coming out of that shell. She's always had that distant type of feeling. While she is somewhat close with her fellow, survivors, you notice that she kind of, in my opinion, in a way, still distances herself. She doesn't, have a lot of connections like she does in the TV show. We still see a little bit more of that, emotionally disconnected character who, is just surviving to survive and, tries, I think, to want to move on and want to become a better person and wanting to, see this world become something great. But I think that she's still so bogged down by everything that she's felt that she really has never been able to move on. And apparently this will focus on what she's been doing. And Robert Kirkman made a statement saying, "In many ways, Michonne is a reflection of the world of Walking Dead. She is brutal and cold on the outside, but deep beneath what is broken, she remains hopeful, trying to claw her way out of that darkness that surrounds her. In our effort to bring the world of the comic and the world of Telltale games closer together, there is no better character than Michonne to help bridge that gap." And I absolutely agree with that. I think that is exactly what Michonne is as a character. That we've seen her wanting to, become established with people, wanting to form connections, but, as a result of things that have happened and, just this idea of, losing her family, not being able to get over that, she really hasn't made all the progress that she's wanted to. I think she's made progress, but not the way that she wants to. So I think that this video game is going to be very, very great. I don't think they really released a lot of details, so what it's going to be about, we don't know. But if I had to make my guess, and this is a little bit of a spoiler from the comics itself, but in issue 139, if I remember, Michonne had basically been traveling. And I think that she was traveling by boat with several of the other, survivors. They were going up and down the coast, I think gathering supplies or doing something. And Michonne actually admitted that she was looking for her daughters, thinking that maybe they were still out there. But at the same time, maybe not agreeing with that. And she hesitates about, whether she can truly, be happy, whether they deserve to be happy after all that they've done. And again, this is Michonne, still stuck in that mindset of, this world is just so terrible in general. We've done so many bad things. I've lost a lot. Can I really, become something amazing? Can I really, laugh and smile and enjoy life again? Am I really supposed to do that? And I think that they've all been struggling with that. And I think that we all would too. I mean, if we lost almost everybody that we ever cared about all in one fell swoop, how would we ever move on? I think that in many ways we, when we lose loved ones, even, along the way as we do, usually we don't lose all of our relatives all at once, or usually no more than one or two. But, the amount of time that it takes to move past what's happened, or whether you can or not, is hard enough. But to try to move on after what has happened in a zombie apocalypse, I can understand where Michonne is coming from. And part of me wonders if we're going to see a little bit more about Michonne's backstory. Are we going to see her return to Georgia? Going back to the place that she was from, looking at all the pictures, going back to her house, things along those lines. I'm very interested to see if they will follow that, because that seems to be a lot of what Michonne was doing, being away from the group for as long as she was. And I think that it would be very interesting to delve a little bit into her past and have her, go to these various places that, she's familiar with, that she knows, and maybe, reflecting on that a little bit and either letting go of everything that happened or not and staying within that mindset. Maybe it's about, making Michonne a little bit more of a person who can start to heal, someone who can start to, have the healing process done in their life and become something of a better character. I mean, she's a great character in general, but what I'm saying is that, we've always, maybe wanted to see Michonne become a little bit more complex, like she is in the TV show. And I just don't think that they've reached that yet. And whether they do or not, I think that one of the things that I've always tried to establish is that the comics and the TV show are two different things, and you have to treat them that way. While we want to see various elements mix in both worlds, we can't forget that there's a reason why the comics are following one story and the TV show is following another one. And I think that there's a lot that goes into that, and I think they're doing a great job with both. But I'm really interested in this video game, and I really hope that they do delve into Michonne's past and what it can, reveal. And I think that there is a lot to it. So with that, I'm going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank all of you for watching. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And if there's any other suggestions that you would like to see for Walking Dead or Z Nation or anything else, don't be afraid to let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.